Quite nice having a sofa in the garden.
Hi, my name is Laura, this is Upholstery and welcome to part 4 of my sofa series, where I bought a second-hand sofa on Facebook Marketplace and have reupholstered it in this lovely Linwood fabric. The fabric was very kindly gifted to me by Linwood and they have sponsored this series, which I am eternally grateful for. This is their dimity fabric in the colour rust. Spend the day in my workroom with me while I make all of these cushions. So I've made 2 large piped box cushions and then 5 large unpiped scatter cushions. I'll show you the process of how I make them. I really hope you enjoy it and thanks for watching. Oh, let's try and make this workroom look a bit less grey. It's been so warm all week and then on the bank holiday weekend it's raining. And yes, I am working on the bank holiday weekend when you have your own business. Sadly, I don't get too many days off. Okay, here's one of the cushions. Obviously there is 2. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, dusty. Beautiful feather cushions. Yeah, 45 wide. God, everything in this sofa is so big. Too wide. Okay, I'll just go and check the cushion on the actual chair. So I have got all of my measurements and I need 24 meters of piping. That will do both box cushions and it will do the outside arm and outside back of each section. Do I want to make piping for the scatters? Don't know. Maybe. I haven't decided if I'm going to do the same scatters or different scatters. Probably the same. So each cushion is rather large. I've just made sure that where I line it up is going to match nicely top and bottom. So the stripes are going to match with the inside back and the platform stripes, which I'm fairly confident that they do. Cut 2 like this, with the red stripe on the left, and then the next one I'll cut with the red stripe on the next 2 sides. I'll cut with the red stripe on the right, so right top here, and then I'm going to fold it in half and put a notch in the centre of the top and bottom. And then just notch it. So I just cut a little like that. Then I know when I'm sewing I know that that's my middle. So that I can line the 2 panels up. Oh, this fabric is so nice to use. It's 100% linen. It is printed beautifully. Just love it. Cuts like butter. I've got 24 meters of piping to make. Because it's a stripe, obviously me doing it on the bias, this white stripe this way will be so big, but then on the bias it'll be a lot longer, so nothing's actually going to line up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I need 12 strips. It's better to cut your piping on the bias, but times like this, where it will mess up my whole pattern, it's not 100% essential. it might just look a tiny bit more wrinkly on the corners than it would if it was on the bias, but that's fine. Always use these clips instead of pins. They're so much better when sewing cushions. So I use pins when I'm pattern matching fabric, and then I use these clips when I'm sewing cushions. So I've got my piping here. I'm going to start pinning it, making sure I've got a whole piece of piping with no joins at the front, and I'm just going to put a new clip in on every stripe. I'll get you a better angle. Look who's in the workroom with me today because I'm not stapling. Hello, Toonie. Hello, precious. Got her little seat looking out the window. What are you looking at? Oh, she's looking at Aaron. Checking all my corners are good. Happy with that. So because I didn't cut it on the bias, you'll see that where the corner is a slight, it doesn't go round as nicely as it would if it was cut on the bias. It kind of gathers a tiny bit. So the back stripes aren't lined up. A, you're never going to see them, and B, life is too short, but the front is. There's certain things that I do really care about, like lining up the fronts, I do really care about. And then the backs, because the cushions are so plump, they're going to go like that, and so you're actually not really going to see the back piping. And I ironed my zip pieces off camera because the ironing board's not very aesthetic. These are my zip panels, and I've just ironed a 1/2 inch so that when I sew my zip on, it's nice and neat. Done that on both pieces. Got the cushion. Look how big and plump it is. I love it so much. I love a feather cushion. Some people hate them. My mum's not a fan of them. She says they're annoying to plump, but I love plumping cushions. I do also like a foam feather wrap, but these are just pure feather. So if you like a bit of both, then a foam feather wrap's good because it's basically a foam core, and then it has a pillow filled with feathers on the top and the bottom, sandwiching it. And then it kind of has the soft plumpness of feathers, but then it doesn't need as much refluffing as a pure feather, and it doesn't lose its shape as much as a pure. So if you want a bit more structure but the slightly domed feathery look, then a foam feather wrap cushion is probably the best way to go. I feel like I do probably prefer a foam feather wrap to a pure feather, but I can bear a pure foam cushion. So I always make my cushion covers a bit smaller than the cushion because I want them to fill the corners. So as you can see, ever so slightly smaller, and then the corners are going to fill up. But with a feather, so foam I do it kind of tight so that it's really quite filled, whereas with feather, because it's soft, you don't want it too tight. It's like a very fine line because you still want to be able to you still want the feathers to be able to move around. So I don't do my feather cushions as tight as my foam cushions. So I've got 2 panels, 2 zip borders, and then a border panel. So the next thing I'm going to do is make my zip. So I have my 2 pieces like that. I'm going to put the zip in between and the stripes will line up, of course. I've got my continuous zip. I've shown how I put this on in the video before. I will link it up there, but I'm now going to sew down there on this side and then on the other side to do my zip. Making a zip border is really not as complicated as it might initially seem. I've got my stripes which will tell me that they're both at the same tension. It's actually really handy when you have a pattern. It shows you that you're pulling both the same. One always gets pulled slightly more. Zip border, all lining up really nicely, and looks lush. And then to make sure that the zip doesn't come off the end, I'm just going to stitch over that 3 or 4 times. That. And then that stops the zip coming off. Cute. And then I'm going to make sure that my front panel is lined up with the piping and with the top of the cushion. So I'm going to turn that over. I was really thinking, oh, I should have just done plain piping, but since seeing it all lining up lovely, I'm glad I haven't. I think like the lined up piping is just an extra little detail that really adds to the whole piece. Let's try it on the sofa.
Oh, I want to sit on that so badly. Oh my gosh. How comfy does that look?
I'm going to make the scatter cushions today. I can't remember what sizes they are. I think I've got 3 big ones and 2 small ones. Let me check. Okay, so these are the cushions that she gave me. Excuse that freaky thing. These don't really feel like feather. These are feather. So there's 3 of these, which are kind of big. And then these she just gave me and said you can have them, which was very kind. Feel really flat. If they are feather cushions, then I will... Oh, they're not. Not really a massive fan of like hollow fill cushions. So I think I might not use these 2 and use these 3, and then I've got my own scatter cushions that I will make instead. So I'm going to leave those 2 fluffy ones and take these 3.
Ugh, cool.
So I just went up to my room because I was going to get my small scatter cushions, but then I thought, why not just do 5 big scatter cushions? So I'm going to do 5 big ones. If I'm going to make one, may as well make a big one. And I think the proportions of the 5 big... Yeah, the proportions of the 5 big ones will look good. They're ish the same size. And these ones here are quite baggy, so that they're really soft. I like a plump cushion. Sorry. I like a plump cushion. So. Okay, how does the size compare? Yeah, they're exactly the same. But I'm going to make my covers smaller than this. So I don't want them to be all flumpy. So this is a 26-inch cushion. So I'm going to make them 24-inch squares. So I'm going to cut 25-inch squares. So I need 10 25-inch squares. Hopefully I do have enough fabric to do 5 25-inch things. If not, so I'm just making these in this fabric for now. I feel like for the final sofa, it all being in the same fabric will be amazing. But the great thing about a sofa that its back is made up of scatter cushions is that you can chop and change them all the time. So I'm going to make my 5 cushions, But say if I don't have enough fabric, then I have actually got a blue fabric that is a really good match for this colour. It's just a plain linen. So if I end up needing to use that, I'll do that on 2 of them if needed. Or I've also got a Linwood velvet, but I don't think I've got enough to make 2 cushions, and I'm not going to make 1 random cushion. To be honest, it scatters. I don't really mind if they're piped or not. That's my middle. That sound is my dog Fig, in case anyone is wondering why I'm panting. Oh, I've got Figgy in the workroom with me today. Hello. So cute. Hello. Oh, so cute. So tiny. I wanted to cut them 25, but then that would take me to here on the selvage. I would see the white. So I'm making them 24.5 rather. And then because these are straight lines on the fabric, I'm just gonna do that rather than measure it properly. Then I fold them in half and mark the middle, top and bottom with a notch like this. You can just about see it. So that tells me that where the middle of the top and bottom is, which is obvious on this pattern. I just do it anyway. And I only do top and bottom, you don't need to do side and side. 2 down, 8 to go. I've pressed my pieces. I've just done a 1/2 inch seam allowance on the bottom side. I've got 2 pieces, they're facing each other. This is the bottom here. I'm going to quickly sew together from here to there on this side and the same on the other side. I'm going to sew those together. That and that together, that and that together. This is still open. I'm going to sew my zip in that gap. I have my cushion covers. Cute. Happy with that plumpness. Pattern matching, don't mind about the no piping. I had about 1 metre left, so I maybe could have made piping, but I don't really think it was needed. Oh, love. Cute. This is genuinely the comfiest sofa I've ever been on, and I'm really tired at the moment. So I think for the rest of the day, I'm just going to have a little snooze here. Should probably let the dogs back outside, bless them. I've locked them inside because I really don't want them jumping on my sofa. Maybe I'm going to become one of those people who doesn't let the dog on the sofa. Maybe not. What do you think of the sofa, Ma?
Looks incredible.
You like it?
God, it's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Is a microphone?
Yeah.
That's so cute.
It's sweet, isn't it?
Oh, love, it's absolutely beautiful. You're going to just love this. Guess who's going to be the first to sleep on it?
I know, I want to sleep on it right now.
I know.
Quite nice having a sofa in the garden. Thanks, Mum.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you've enjoyed this series, and I hope to see you again soon.